Hello guys, welcome to the channel, and boy have I got some news for you guys. The Los Angeles Clippers have signed John Wall after he agreed to a buyout with the Houston Rockets. Obviously he wasn't getting much time with the Houston Rockets with the young group that they have. Obviously guards like Green, Kevin Porter Jr., were players that were more important to the Houston Rockets in terms of developing. So John Wall has been bought out of that $47 million contract and has obviously hit the waivers, and the Clippers have signed him. Now, but before I continue, please consider subscribing to the channel as I make regular NBA content, and I'd love to have you guys around in the community. So also don't forget to like and also comment what you think of this pickup for the Clippers. And yeah, let's continue with the video. So just describing and talking about the move in and of itself, Wall's agent Rich Paul, of Clutch Sports, is meeting with the Houston Rockets general manager Raphael Stone, obviously to finalize the terms. It's said that Wall's going to give back around 7 million in salary just so he can, clear the waivers. So out of his 47.4 million, he's going to give back 7 just so he can hit the buyout market, and he'll automatically become one of the top free agents in this class. Now the Clippers have, I guess, in principle, gone ahead and negotiated with him. Things can change very quickly. Obviously, free agency starts in a few days, but it's widely expected, as it was reported by Shams and Woj, that John Wall will be joining the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, the 31-year-old who turns 32 in September, obviously the first pick in that 2010 draft class, hasn't really played much basketball over the last 3 seasons, playing in just 40 games. He had issues with his heel and Achilles in 2019-20, and didn't play for half of 2021 season because, obviously the Houston Rockets have players to develop, and missed out the whole of this most recent season. So I guess instantly the questions will probably be around his health. We haven't seen too much of him since he did his Achilles, and as you guys know, John Wall's a very athletic player, relies on his burst to make things happen, and obviously he hasn't played much at all, so it'll be interesting to see how fast he can come back, into form, and obviously join this Clippers team. It is easy to look at the negatives, obviously, as I just said, but he's averaged 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists throughout his whole career while making the All-Star team 5 times. I guess the instant thing we have to look at is the Clippers rotation. They have a lot of guys like Reggie Jackson, who saw heavy minutes, Luke Kennard as well. Just thinking of some more, but obviously they're going to have to fit him in that rotation. They're not exactly, a team that doesn't have any depth, as we saw towards the end of the season when they were missing Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and came through and still made the playoffs, or play in, and lost in the play-in game to the Minnesota Timberwolves. But they have Norman Powell who can play at the shooting guard. They have Reggie Jackson. They have Luke Kennard. They have quite a number of guards. However, if you look for the true point guards that they've got, it would really just be him and Reggie Jackson. So it is a big get for them. And I think you go straight into the starting lineup, if all things go their way in terms of injury and health. So John Wall, in his most recent NBA season where he played 40 games with the Houston Rockets, shot 32% from 3 on 6 attempts, and then also 40% from the field, while averaging 20.6 points and 7 assists. So even at that level, if you can cut down, I guess, the amount of ball handling he's got and create better looks that he will be getting with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on the team, I think there is a bit of promise to this move, and it does add a third. You can basically call this a big three, I guess. That's what this team's going to end up being. So I think this is a positive move for them. Obviously, they needed a playmaker, and that's what John Wall's going to be. And Reggie Jackson, wasn't exactly that, averaging only 4.8 assists. I guess looking at the big picture in the Western Conference, I guess it's hard to judge the Clippers given that they had a lot of injuries last season. But in that same breath, they were 42 and 40, if my memory serves me correct, and they were still very competitive. And that was without Kawhi Leonard for the whole season, and it was without Paul George for a sizable chunk. So it does give them, a bit of promise. And I guess they're probably going to instantly go back a bit to being a top 4 seed in the conference, and that's probably a bit of a skeptical estimate for them. They can really be as high as the top 2 seed. I think there's a lot of promise to this group. I guess the key concern would be John Wall coming back to his full ability. He did, in his time in that 40 game season he had with the Houston Rockets where he actually played, he was inefficient at shooting the ball, and he was turning the ball over at a high rate. So it'll be interesting to see how he can get back to, I guess, his best. But, looking at him, he's obviously a lead guard in the NBA. He can make the most of these bigs that the Clippers have, and it just gives the defense of the opposing team another option or another thing to be concerned about, which is what you want when you have Kawhi Leonard who's coming back off of his partially torn ACL, and obviously Paul George who struggled with injuries. Now, sorry for the, I guess, rushed or rash nature of the video. It just came, this news came as a surprise, and I want to get it out to you guys as early as I can, and, some more thoughts than just the move happening. So, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please comment what you think of this move, Clippers fans and any other NBA fans. And until next time, thanks for watching. Peace out. Have a good one.